The stench of decay clung to Rian like a second skin. Blood, his own and that of a dozen goblins, soaked his tattered leather armor. His vision blurred, a jagged crack splitting the world in two, mirroring the gash in his forehead. He was trapped. Again. He'd been raiding dungeons since he was old enough to hold a dagger, a rogue known for his cunning, his quick wit, and an almost supernatural ability to sniff out hidden traps. But a week ago, he'd fallen for the oldest trick in the book, a collapsing tunnel, triggered by a rival adventurer's cunning, or perhaps just sheer bad luck. Now, deep beneath the earth in a dungeon he didn't recognize, he was utterly alone. His torch had guttered out hours ago, plunging him into oppressive darkness. His rations were gone, his water skin empty, and his leg was a mangled mess, pinned beneath a fallen support beam. Status: critical. Health: 560, bleeding, severe. Immobilized, left leg, starving, dehydrated. Warning: monster proximity detected. Threat level: low. Low threat, my ass, Rian croaked, trying to shift the beam. A fresh wave of agony made his teeth clench. When you've got 5 HP left, a housefly is a low threat. He heard it then. A faint skittering like claws on stone. Not goblins this time. Something smaller, faster. Probably a cave crawler, level 2. Under normal circumstances, he could dispatch 100 of them with a single well-placed poison dart. Now he was barely breathing. He closed his eyes, accepting his fate. This was how it ended. Not in a blaze of glory, not with a dragon's horde clutched in his dying grasp, but alone in the dark, devoured by something barely strong enough to pop a grape. The irony was bitter. He'd lived by his wits, and now his wits had run out. A sudden, dull throb echoed in his mind. Not a thought, but a feeling. A profound infantile terror mixed with a desperate plea. It wasn't his own thought. It was foreign, raw, utterly devoid of language, yet undeniably present. Dungeon core detected, Pebble. Health: 1/100. Essence: 050. Core integrity: dangerously low. Warning: rival core, Grimfang, expanding. Assimilation imminent. Remaining time: 00 to 0532. Dungeon core Pebble is attempting to initiate symbiotic link, emergency. Adventurer compatibility high. Accept link. And Rian, delirious and dying, blinked. A dungeon core? Attempting a symbiotic link? He'd heard legends, whispered tales of cores so desperate they'd tried to fuse with monsters, but never with an adventurer. Symbiotic links were supposed to be permanent, irreversible. And this one was Pebble? A pathetic name. But assimilation imminent? And that plea in his mind, that pure, unadulterated terror, it resonated with his own desperate clinging to life. What did he have to lose? He was already dead. Why? He rasped, his voice barely a whisper. Yes, link me, you damn Pebble! A searing, burning pain erupted in his chest, a sensation far beyond his broken leg. It felt like his very soul was being unraveled, then rewoven with something cold and crystalline. He screamed, a guttural sound that was cut short as his consciousness fractured, the world plunging into a deeper, more profound darkness. Rian awoke not to darkness, but to a kaleidoscope of shifting stone. He saw through his own eyes, still pinned beneath the beam, the dim outlines of the cavern. But he also saw through something else. A crude pulsing map, a single glowing node in the center of what felt like himself. This was the dungeon. His dungeon. Pebble's dungeon. The dull throb in his mind was still there, but now it had a voice, or rather a nascent echo of thought. Fear. Cold. Big core. Eat. Pebble? Rian thought, focusing all his remaining will into forming a mental query. The response was a wave of relief, a pure burst of infantile joy. You! Help! Symbiotic link established. Adventurer, Rian. Class, Rogue. Health, 1060. Healing initiated by Dungeon Core, Pebble, Minor. Dungeon Core, Pebble. Health, 50-100. Stabilized by Adventurer's life force. Essence, 150, generating. New status, symbiotically linked. Dungeon Core Pebble gains Adventurer XP from Rian's progress. Rian gains Dungeon Essence from Pebble's growth. New shared skill, Dungeon Sense, basic. Passive, Allows Rian to perceive the layout, traps, and monsters within Pebble's dungeon. Allows Pebble to perceive Ryan's immediate surroundings. Warning, rival core Grimfang assimilation imminent. Remaining time 00015. 15 seconds? Rian mentally roared. Pebble, what do we do? Big core. Smash, strong! Eat Pebble. The wave of terror was almost physical. No time for fear, Rian commanded, his rogue's instinct for survival kicking in. Pebble, what are your abilities? Can you make traps? Monsters? No, empty, weak, only stone. Slow stone. Slow stone? Rian tried to focus. The dungeon map in his mind showed only his single small room, and beyond it a vague, encroaching redness. Grimfang. Dungeon core Pebble is attempting to manifest Slowstone, basic. Skill description. Creates a small localized area of magically slowed movement. Mana cost, 5 essence. Warning, insufficient essence. Current, 150. Damn it! Rian cursed. Okay, new plan. Pebble, can you shift the ground around me? Just enough to get this beam off my leg? Shift? Hard. Slow. A feeling of immense strain. Try. Rian felt a subtle tremor in the rock pinning him. It was excruciatingly slow, but the beam began to lift, millimeter by agonizing millimeter. He gritted his teeth, shoving with his good leg. It was working. Ryan's leg freed. Immobilized status removed. Warning. Rival core Grimfang assimilation imminent. Remaining time 0003. Too late, Rian cried, dragging his broken leg from beneath the beam. He scrambled, trying to find a weapon, anything. The cave crawler he'd heard earlier skittered into view, emboldened. It was Pebble's only monster, a pathetic level 2 creature. Suddenly, a searing pain shot through Ryan's mind. The encroaching red on his mental map pulsed violently, and a monstrous, triumphant roar echoed through his head. Rival core Grimfang assimilation attempt initiated. Dungeon core Pebble is under attack. Core integrity dropping. Warning. Symbiotic link integrity critically compromised. No! No! Pain loose! Pebble's mental scream was agony. Rian felt his own body dissolving, his health plummeting. He was being assimilated too. No! Rian screamed, a desperate primal defiance. He looked at the cave crawler, then at the pulsating map, at the single glowing node that was Pebble. Pebble, you're a monster! Can you make it stronger? Just for a second? Stronger? How? Only fear. Fear. Ryan's rogue mind, honed by years of improvisation, clicked. Make it look scary. Make it feel scary. Even if it's not. Dungeon core Pebble is attempting to manifest Primal Fear Aura Basic. Skill description creates a localized aura of primal fear debuffing enemies. Mana cost 10 essence. Warning, insufficient essence. Current 150. No. Ryan's scream was directed at Pebble, at the system, at fate itself. You have me! Drain my essence. Take it. Adventurer Rian is attempting to transfer life force to Dungeon core Pebble to generate essence. Transfer approved. Health 1060, 060. Dungeon core Pebble essence 150, 1150. Dungeon core Pebble has manifested Primal Fear Aura Basic. Cave Crawler level 2 is empowered by Primal Fear Aura Basic. Warning, Rian's health critical. Near death. Rian collapsed, unconscious. But his last mental image was of the cave crawler, now glowing with a malevolent red light, its tiny fangs somehow elongated, its skittering steps now echoing with a phantom roar. It launched itself at the encroaching red mist of Grimfang, a tiny, terrified guardian fighting for its symbiotic master. Rian awoke in darkness once more, but this time the darkness felt safe. His leg throbbed, but the bleeding had stopped, and his health miraculously stood at a fragile 160. The mental connection to Pebble was still there, but the primal terror had subsided, replaced by a deep, almost purring contentment. Safe, you? Good, we're safe? Rian thought, his voice still hoarse, but his mind clearer. Grimfang. What happened, Grimfang? Confused. Go away. Not eat Pebble. Pebble, strong. A surge of pride. Rival core Grimfang. Assimilation attempt failed. Dungeon core Pebble has successfully defended against assimilation. Pebble has gained 10 dungeon XP. Rian has gained 10 adventurer XP. Dungeon core Pebble has leveled up. Pebble is now level 2. Rian has leveled up. Rian is now level 2. New dungeon core skill, the stone wall, basic, active, creates a temporary stone barrier. Mana cost, 10 essence. New adventurer. Skill, essence drain, basic, active. Drains a small amount of dungeon essence from Pebble to restore Rian's health. Cooldown 10s, mana cost, 5 essence. Dungeon core Pebble. Essence, 150. Rian's health, 160. Rian felt a surge of elation. They had won! Against a level 50 dungeon core, they, a level 1 adventurer and a level 1 Pebble, had won. And he had gained a new skill, Essence Drain. This was game-changing. He could heal himself even if it cost Pebble essence. Pebble, Rian thought, use Essence Drain to heal me. No, Essence, need, grow. Pebble projected a wave of reluctance. Grimfang. Come back! Stronger now! Rian frowned. Pebble was right. Grimfang wouldn't give up. They were still pathetically weak. He used his new dungeon sense, basic, to survey their domain. The map in his mind now showed not just his current chamber, but a second, smaller room adjacent to it. Pebble's dungeon had expanded slightly, and in the second room, 2 weak monsters had spawned, 2 cave crawlers. Level 2, Dungeon Core Pebble status. Level 2, Health, 5100, Essence, 150, generating +1 Essence minute. Monsters, 3x, Cave Crawler, Level 2, Rooms, 2x, Basic Cavern Room. Skills, Slowstone Basic, Primal Fear Aura, Basic, Stone Wall, Basic, Adventurer Rian status, Level, 2 Health, 160, Mana, 0. Skills, Dungeon Sense, Basic, Essence Drain, Basic, Rogue Abilities, Default, Passive. Okay, Pebble, Rian thought. We need to get stronger, fast. What does Grimfang want from you? Why aren't they just smashing through? Grimfang wants essence. Pebble essence, good. Digest, Rian understood. Dungeon cores didn't just eat other cores. They assimilated their essence, their very being, to grow. Grimfang had underestimated Pebble, thinking it a weak, easy meal. Now Grimfang would return, likely with stronger monsters. All right, Rian mused. We need Adventurer XP for me, Dungeon XP for you. And we need Essence. How do we get Essence, Pebble? Adventurers. Kill. Essence. Adventurers! Rian groaned. Pebble, your dungeon is 2 rooms and 3 cave crawlers. No sane adventurer is coming here, let alone dying. Sane? No. Fools. Yes. Pebble's mental image was surprisingly shrewd. Rian felt a flicker of hope. Pebble was right. There were always fools. And if he was going to survive, he had to become one too. He needed to lure adventurers in, trick them into fighting Pebble's pathetic monsters, and then use Pebble's dungeon skills to trap and eliminate them. This was going to be a long, dangerous, and morally questionable partnership. First, he needed to heal. Pebble, Rian commanded, a slight tremor in his voice. Drain my essence. Heal me. You're going to need me strong if we're going to survive this. Reluctant. But trust. Good. Rian felt a familiar, agonizing pull as his scant life force transferred. His health instantly jumped to a meager 1060, but Pebble's essence once again dropped to 0. It was a vicious cycle, but one they would have to master. Rian, now marginally healthier at 10 HP, dragged himself towards the entrance of Pebble's meager dungeon. He was still in immense pain, his leg radiating a dull throb, but at least he could move. His dungeon sense showed him the raw stone walls, the uneven floor, the barely visible crack that served as their main entrance. It looked like any other forgotten cave, unworthy of a second glance. Pebble, Rian thought. We need bait. Something to attract adventurers, but not too powerful. Something that looks easy, shiny, sparkle. Pebble projected a vague image of glittering stones. Exactly, Rian replied. Can you make any illusory treasure? Something to draw them in? Dungeon Core Pebble is attempting to manifest illusory lure, basic. Skill description, creates a small, non-physical illusion of glittering treasure. Mana cost 5 essence. Warning, insufficient essence. Current 050. Damn it, essence again, Rian muttered. Okay, Pebble, this is going to be our life. I need to transfer more life force. Heal me to half, and then save the rest of your essence for the lure. Understanding. Pain. For good. Rian gritted his teeth as the familiar drain occurred. His health climbed to 3060. Pebble's essence, still meager, went to 2050. They were dancing on a razor's edge. Now, Pebble, put a glowing pile of fake gold just inside the entrance. Make it sparkle like crazy, and hide our cave crawlers in the shadows around it. Done. A mental image of a small, glittering pile of gold, perfectly placed to lure unsuspecting adventurers, appeared in Rian's mind. His dungeon sense showed the 3 cave crawlers expertly concealed around it. Rian then dragged himself into the shadows of the first chamber, hiding himself as best he could. He was the dungeon's eyes and ears. He was also its most vulnerable point. Hours passed. Rian drifted in and out of consciousness, his mind a blend of his own pain and Pebble's nascent sentience. Warm, waiting. Then Pebble pulsed with a sudden jolt. Footsteps. 2! Come! Rian focused his dungeon sense. 2 adventurers were indeed approaching the cave entrance. Their mental signatures, even through Pebble, radiated arrogance and overconfidence. Adventurer profiles detected. Ilara, human warrior, level 8. Status, overconfident. Gear, basic plate, iron greatsword. Finn, human rogue, level 7. Status, complacent. Gear, basic leather, short daggers. Level 8 and level 7, Rian thought. Perfect. Strong enough to feel cocky, weak enough to be caught by surprise. Pebble, when they step in, hit them with primal fear aura. Then have the cave crawlers attack. Wait for my signal to use slow stone or stone wall. Ready. Pebble projected a thrilling anticipation. The 2 adventurers, Ilara and Finn, entered the dungeon. Rian watched through Pebble's senses, seeing the illusory gold glimmering. Ha! Ilara scoffed. Look at this pathetic little cave. They didn't even try to hide the loot. Must be abandoned. Easy pickings, Finn chuckled, moving towards the gold. As Finn stepped fully into the room, Pebble unleashed its skill. Dungeon Core Pebble has manifested Primal Fear Aura Basic. Ilara, Human Warrior, level 8, is affected by Primal Fear Aura. 20% attack, 20% defense. Finn, Human Rogue, level 7, is affected by Primal Fear Aura. 20% attack, 20% defense. Ilara gasped, her eyes widening. Finn staggered back, dropping his daggers. What the hell was that? The 3 cave crawlers launched themselves from the shadows. Tiny but now imbued with Pebble's residual fear energy, they seemed monstrous in the dim light. Just little bugs. Ilara roared, shaking off some of the fear, swinging her greatsword. She cleaved one of the cave crawlers in half. Cave crawler, level 2, defeated. Ilara, Human Warrior, level 8, has gained 5 XP. Finn, Human Rogue, level 7, has gained 5 XP. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained 10 Dungeon XP. They're faster than they look, Finn yelled, scrambling for his daggers. Another cave crawler pounced, biting his leg. Now, Pebble, Rian commanded mentally. Use Slowstone on Ilara. She's the biggest threat. Dungeon Core Pebble has manifested Slowstone Basic on Ilara, Human Warrior, level 8. Ilara, Human Warrior, level 8. Movement speed, 50%, attack speed, 50%. Dungeon Core Pebble Essence, 5 or 50, yo 50. Ilara suddenly moved as if wading through treacle. Her powerful swing slowed to a crawl. What magic is this? She shrieked. The remaining cave crawler, emboldened, bit Ilara's slowed leg. Finn, recovering, managed to stab the other cave crawler. Cave crawler, level 2, defeated. Finn, Human Rogue, level 7, has gained 5 XP. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained 10 Dungeon XP. Only 1 cave crawler remained, facing 2 slowed, debuffed adventurers. The battle was far from over, but Rian felt a surge of triumph. They were fighting smart. They were learning. They were surviving. This was only the beginning of their unlikely symbiotic growth. The lone remaining cave crawler, level 2, darted around the slowed Ilara, nipping at her exposed ankles. Finn, the rogue, had recovered his daggers and was attempting to pin it, but his movements too were hampered by Pebble's primal fear aura. Rian, observing through dungeon sense, watched the chaos he had orchestrated. Ilara, Human Warrior, level 8, health, 4080, status, slowed, feared. Finn, Human Rogue, level 7. Health 5570. Status feared. Cave Crawler, level 2. Health 1020. Pebble, Rian thought. Keep Alara slowed. Focus the Cave Crawler on Finn. He's weaker defensively. Affirmative. Pebble projected a wave of focused intent. The Cave Crawler, instead of harassing Alara, suddenly launched itself at Finn, its tiny fangs flashing. Finn shrieked as the crawler bit into his arm. "Damn it, Alara! What are you doing?" Alara, struggling with the magical slowdown, tried to bring her greatsword to bear. "I'm trying, you idiot. It's like wading through mud." This was their chance. Rian felt a surge of adrenaline, sharpening his tactical mind. He was no longer just an adventurer. He was a general commanding his tiny army. "Pebble," Rian commanded, "use stone wall behind Finn. Trap him with the crawler!" Dungeon Core Pebble has manifested stone wall basic behind Finn Human Rogue, level 7. Finn Human Rogue, level 7 is now trapped. Dungeon Core Pebble Essence 050. Essence Reg, Plum 1 Min. Mana regeneration started. A crude, uneven stone wall erupted from the floor behind Finn, sealing him in a small pocket with the frantic cave crawler. Finn turned, his eyes wide with panic. "No, let me out!" Alara, now unable to reach Finn, raged. She tried to smash the stone wall with her greatsword. But it was surprisingly resilient. Stone wall, basic, health, 50-50, resistance, high versus bludgeoning, slashing. Alara. Human Warrior, level 8, has damaged stone wall, basic, by 5 HP. 45-50, Rian felt Pebble's pride. Strong wall. Finn, trapped and terrified, fumbled with his daggers trying to fight off the frenzied cave crawler. His low HP and the primal fear aura made him clumsy. After a few desperate wild swings, the cave crawler, emboldened, landed a critical bite. Finn, Human Rogue, level 7, health 070, defeated. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained 50 Dungeon XP. Rian has gained 50 Adventurer XP. New item acquired. Basic Rogue Daggers. Basic Leather Armor. Minor Healing Potion, X1. A rush of power both for Pebble and himself. The Dungeon XP flowed into Pebble, the Adventurer XP into Rian. The sweet taste of victory tinged with the familiar bitterness of his rogue's ruthlessness. "Finn!" Alara screamed, abandoning the wall to charge the remaining cave crawler. "You little bastard!" Her movements were still slowed, but her rage made her reckless. Pebble, Rian thought. Let her smash the last crawler. Conserve essence. She's damaged goods now. The last cave crawler, having fulfilled its purpose, allowed itself to be cornered and slain by the enraged Alara. Cave crawler, level 2, defeated. Alara, Human Warrior, level 8, has gained 5 XP. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained 10 Dungeon XP. Alara stood panting, surrounded by the remnants of the battle, her aura of fury barely containing her fear. Her health was down, her companion dead, and the dungeon was proving far more treacherous than it looked. She spotted the illusory gold still sparkling innocently. With a roar of frustration, she swung her sword, shattering the illusion into a puff of glitter. She turned to leave, but Rian wasn't done. "Pebble," he commanded. "Hit her with stone wall at the entrance." "Trap her in here!" Dungeon Core Pebble has manifested stone wall basic at the dungeon entrance. Alara, Human Warrior, level 8, is now trapped. Dungeon Core Pebble Essence 050, Essence Reg Playin Min. Alara stared at the newly formed wall, her face a mask of dawning horror. She was alone, wounded, and trapped. Rian, from his hiding spot, felt a grim satisfaction. This wasn't just survival. This was evolution. Alara screamed, pounding on the newly formed stone wall with the flat of her greatsword. "Let me out! You bastard dungeon!" Her health was still at 40-80, but her spirit was clearly broken. "Pebble," Rian thought, his voice calm and cold. "What's our Dungeon XP total?" "Enough. Grow. Dungeon Core Pebble Dungeon XP 7100, level 2. Pebble has gained 70 Dungeon XP from defeating adventurers. Rian's Adventurer XP 7100, level 2. Rian has gained 70 Adventurer XP from defeating adventurers. Dungeon Core Pebble has leveled up. Pebble is now level 3. New Dungeon Core skill, Acid Pit, basic, active. Creates a small pit of corrosive acid. Damage low over time. Mana cost, 15 essence. Rian has leveled up. Rian is now level 3. New adventurer skill, Shadow Stealth Basic, active. Allows temporary invisibility in shadows. Mana cost, 10. Cooldown, 30s. Rian felt the familiar rush of leveling up. He was now level 3, and Pebble was level 3. The synergy was incredible. Acid Pit would be a fantastic trap, and his own Shadow Stealth. That would allow him to move unseen, to scout, to escape if needed. He quickly checked his health, 30-60. He still needed to be careful. Pebble, you've leveled up. What can you do now? Rian asked. Rooms, more, monsters, stronger. Pebble projected an image of twisting corridors and new, tougher creatures. Excellent, Rian thought. We need to expand. Make 2 new rooms. One should be a simple corridor leading away from here, and the other should be a dead end with some of Finn's scattered gear. Don't let Alara see it yet. Done. The map in Rian's mind expanded. 2 new rooms seamlessly formed from the surrounding rock. A short corridor and at its end a small dark cave. Now, Pebble, Rian continued, what's the strongest monster you can spawn right now? Goblins. Angry. Pebble projected crude, aggressive humanoid shapes. Dungeon Core Pebble can now spawn Goblin Brutes, level 5. Goblin Brutes, Rian mused. Good. Put 2 of them in the dead-end room with Finn's gear. They'll guard it, and make sure the path to that room is clear for now. Done. The Goblin Brutes manifested, their red eyes gleaming in the dark, guarding Finn's meager loot. Now, Alara, Rian thought, focusing on the trapped warrior. She's damaged but dangerous. We need to wear her down without risking our last cave crawler. Pebble, what's her biggest weakness? Pebble detects low morale, fear, and she needs light. Blind. Perfect, Rian exclaimed. Pebble, use Primal Fear aura on her constantly, if your essence allows. And can you affect the light in the room? Light? Hard. Only dim shadow Dungeon Core Pebble is attempting to manifest Shadow Veil. Basic. Skill description. Greatly dims light sources within a room, increasing fear and reducing visibility. Mana cost 10 essence. Warning, insufficient essence. Current, 0.50. Damn it, Rian cursed. Okay, Pebble. Don't cast it yet. Just keep the fear on her. And put an acid pit directly in front of the stone wall she's trying to break. Make it shallow, so she steps in it but doesn't immediately die, just hurts. Evil. Good. Pebble projected a wave of satisfaction. Dungeon Core Pebble has manifested, Acid Pit, Basic, in front of Alara, Human Warrior, level 8. Alara, Human Warrior, level 8 is affected by Acid Pit, taking 2 damage per minute. Dungeon Core Pebble Essence 1050, 050. Alara shrieked as she stepped into the bubbling green liquid. What in the hell? She frantically tried to jump out, her slowed movements making her clumsy. The acidic burn added to her despair. Now, Rian thought. We wait. Let the dungeon do its work. He watched as Alara slowly weakened, the acid pit and constant fear taking their toll. Her screams dwindled to whimpers. He felt a grim satisfaction. This was how a dungeon worked. It wasn't about flashy combat. It was about attrition, psychological warfare, and exploiting every weakness. They were building something truly terrifying, one fear-filled scream at a time. Days blurred into a cycle of agony and triumph for Rian. Alara, the warrior, eventually succumbed to the acid pit and perpetual primal fear aura. Her death, slow and agonizing, provided a massive influx of dungeon XP for Pebble and adventurer XP for Rian. Alara, human warrior, level 8, defeated. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained 100 dungeon XP. Rian has gained 100 adventurer XP. Dungeon Core Pebble has leveled up. Pebble is now level 4. New Dungeon Core skill, Mana Leech Trap, Basic, active. A passive floor trap that drains mana from enemies. Mana cost 20 essence. Rian has leveled up. Rian is now level 4. New Adventurer skill, Disarm Trap, Basic, active. Allows the user to detect and disarm basic dungeon traps. Cooldown, 15s. Mana cost 10. Rian now had Disarm Trap, an invaluable rogue skill, ironically gained from being trapped within a dungeon. Pebble gained Mana Leech Trap, a perfect addition to their repertoire of psychological warfare. His health was still a concern, but he could heal himself with Essence Drain whenever Pebble accumulated enough. Their dungeon had grown. Pebble now controlled 4 rooms: the entrance chamber, a winding corridor, the dead-end chamber with the goblin brutes, and a newly created spawning pool where Pebble could manifest more monsters. They had 2 goblin brutes and 3 cave crawlers patrolling. Rian felt stronger physically and mentally. The symbiosis was profound. He could now subtly influence Pebble's monster spawns and trap placements, making them more cunning. Pebble, in turn, fed him raw information, enhancing his dungeon sense to an incredible degree. He was becoming the dungeon's mind, and Pebble was becoming his body. But their growth hadn't gone unnoticed. Presence, big core, angry, close. Pebble's mental projection was a low, ominous thrum of warning. Rian focused his dungeon sense. The red mist of Grimfang's influence, which had receded after their initial victory, was now back, closer, more intense. And with it a new presence, a powerful one. Rival Corps Grimfang scouting party detected. Threat level, high. Party composition, 1X, Grimfang Lieutenant, Shadow Goblin, level 20, Grimfang Goblin Warrior, level 10, Grimfang Lieutenant status, focused on reconnaissance, seeking Pebble Core location. Level 20? Rian exclaimed mentally. And a whole squad of level 10s? We're still only level 4! Fight? No, hide. Pebble was terrified. It wanted to dig deeper, to run. No, Pebble. We can't hide forever. Grimfang will dig us out. We have to be smart. This isn't a fight we can win directly. It's a trap we need to set. Rian's rogue instincts flared. Where are they entering? Entrance. Room 1. Careful. Good, Rian thought. Pebble, fill room 1 with primal fear aura. Make it so thick they can taste it. Place a mana leech trap directly under the illusory gold. Make it seem like easy treasure. And then use stone wall to block the corridor entrance. Trap them in room 1. Do not spawn any monsters yet. Confused. No monsters? Pebble seemed puzzled. Trust me, Rian replied, a grim smile on his face. This isn't about killing them immediately. It's about breaking their will, about making them afraid of the dark, of their own shadows. Pebble, trusting their bond, complied. The illusory gold sparkled, enticing, concealing the hidden trap. The entrance chamber pulsed with an oppressive fear aura, and the corridor to the rest of the dungeon was sealed by a solid stone wall. Rian, using his shadow stealth, moved into the narrow corridor, hidden in its deepest shadows. He was the dungeon's dark heart, waiting. The Grimfang Lieutenant, Shadow Goblin, level 20, entered Pebble's dungeon with his squad of 5 Grimfang Goblin Warriors, level 10. The lieutenant was taller, leaner than common goblins, his eyes glowing with an eerie red light, his armor of black iron seeming to absorb the dim light. His mental presence, as felt by Rian through Pebble, was cold, analytical, and utterly ruthless. Grimfang Lieutenant's objective: locate and report on Pebble Core. If weak, destroy. The lieutenant surveyed the small entrance chamber. His keen senses immediately registered the overwhelming primal fear aura. He growled, a low, guttural sound that rattled Rian's bones even in his hidden spot. Report! The lieutenant barked to his warriors. What is this sorcery? The goblin warriors, visibly shaken by the fear aura, stammered. Lieutenant! Aura strong. Fear makes the bad feelings. Silence, fools! The lieutenant, though affected, seemed more resistant. His eyes, however, widened slightly as he spotted the glittering illusory gold in the center of the room. He sensed the underlying magic. A trap. A cheap trick. He ordered one of his goblin warriors forward. Check the treasure. It is likely an illusion or cursed, but investigate. The goblin warrior, trembling, approached the illusory gold. As its foot landed on the spot, the hidden trap triggered, Mana Leech Trap Basic, activated. Grimfang Goblin Warrior, level 10, affected by Mana Leech Trap. 5 mana per second. Duration 30s. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained 5 essence. The Goblin Warrior screamed, clutching its head. My mana, it burns. Goblins, relying on minor shamanistic spells, were highly vulnerable to mana drain. The warrior stumbled, collapsing into a heap, convulsing. The lieutenant's red eyes narrowed. A monoleech trap? In a core this week? Impossible! He scanned the room, his gaze lingering on the newly formed stone wall that blocked the corridor. And a stone wall. This is not the work of a nascent core. This is cunning. Rian felt a surge of pride from Pebble. Cunning! Yes! The lieutenant, realizing he was facing something more sophisticated than a simple desperate core, changed tactics. Fan out! Search for the core! It must be hidden in this room. But as the goblin warriors tried to spread out, the overwhelming primal fear aura, combined with the mysterious traps and invisible walls, began to take a heavy toll. Their morale plummeted. Grimfang Goblin Warrior, level 10, morale critical. Status: panicked. Grimfang Goblin Warrior, level 10, morale critical. Status: deserting. One of the goblin warriors, driven mad by fear and the oppressive atmosphere, turned and fled back towards the entrance, frantically pounding on the illusory gold, trying to escape. Cowards! The lieutenant roared, but his own composure was visibly cracking. He was still standing, but his movements were less sharp, his orders more ragged. The fear was getting to him slowly, methodically. Pebble, Rian thought. Keep the fear on him. Don't let up. And strengthen the stone wall at the entrance. He's not going to try and break it. He's going to try and dig through it. He's a shadow goblin, understood. Pebble pulsed with a dark satisfaction. The lieutenant, realizing his warriors were useless and he was being psychologically outmaneuvered, made a decision. He would not engage. He would retreat and report. He turned, his glowing red eyes fixed on the entrance. Clever little core, he snarled, his voice tinged with grudging respect. You have learned quickly. But Grimfang will return, and next time, there will be no illusions to hide behind. He disappeared through the entrance, leaving his panicked, mana-drained warriors to fend for themselves. One managed to escape. The others were slowly driven insane by fear and exhaustion, eventually collapsing. Grimfang Lieutenant, Shadow Goblin, level 20, has retreated. Grimfang Goblin Warrior, level 10, defeated. Exhaustion Fear, Grimfang Goblin Warrior, level 10, defeated. Exhaustion Fear. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained 100 Dungeon XP. Rian has gained 100 Adventurer XP. Dungeon Core Pebble has leveled up. Pebble is now level 5. New Dungeon Core skill. Corrosion Aura, basic, active. A passive aura that slowly corrodes enemy armor and weapons. Mana cost 25 essence, Rian has leveled up. Rian is now level 5. New Adventurer skill, Trap Crafting, basic, active. Allows the user to construct basic physical traps. Mana cost 10, cooldown 20s. Rian felt an immense wave of triumph. They had faced a level 20 monster and its squad and had driven them off without engaging in direct combat. They had won through pure tactical cunning, through the dungeon's insidious psychological warfare. He was now level 5, with Trap Crafting, another invaluable rogue skill. Pebble was level 5, with Corrosion Aura, a perfect counter to armored foes. They were evolving, adapting, becoming a truly formidable force. The shadow of Grimfang still loomed, but Rian knew one thing for certain. When they returned, they would be facing a dungeon far more cunning and deadly than they could ever imagine. The victory over Grimfang's scouting party had been sweet, a testament to Rian's cunning and Pebble's evolving malevolence. They had leveled up significantly, both reaching level 5. Pebble now commanded 6 rooms, including a complex series of winding corridors and dead ends, and a slightly tougher roster of monsters, 2 goblin brutes, level 5, and 5 cave crawlers, level 2. Rian, with his new trap crafting skill, had spent days, or what felt like days in the timeless dungeon, augmenting Pebble's defenses. He used discarded rocks and the occasional bones from fallen adventurers to craft crude but effective spike traps, basic, and tripwire snares, basic. He taught Pebble how to integrate these physical traps with its magical ones, creating a deadly synergy. A tripwire might trigger a stone wall, trapping a foe for an acid pit or a volley of goblin brute attacks, big core. Near, angry, many. Pebble's mental warning was an insistent, deep thrum, unlike anything before. Rian focused his dungeon sense. The mental map glowed an angry, pulsating crimson. Grimfang was back. And this time it wasn't a scouting party. Rival Corps Grimfang Assault Force detected. Threat level, extreme. Party composition, 1X. Grimfang Warlord, Shadow Goblin, level 30. Aegis Grimfang Shaman, Shadow Goblin, level 25. X Grimfang Goblin Warrior, they're level 10. 5X Grimfang Cave Bear, level 15. Grimfang Warlord's objective, assimilate Pebble Core, grind Pebble into dust. Level 30 Warlord and a level 25 Shaman? Rian mentally gasped. And cave bears? Pebble, we can't face this head on! Fear, deep fear, run? Pebble projected pure panic. No, Pebble, we can't run. This dungeon is our body, our shield. We have to make this place a nightmare for them. Ryan's mind raced, adrenaline coursing through his veins. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We use every single trick we have. Every trap. Every illusion. Every monster. He activated his shadow stealth and moved to the entrance chamber, hiding in the deepest shadows. He watched through Pebble's senses as the warlord, a hulking figure of shadowed muscle, stormed into the entrance chamber, followed by the chanting shaman and the heavily armed goblins and snarling cave bears. The primal fear aura, now greatly amplified by Pebble's higher level, immediately washed over them. The goblin warriors flinched, but the warlord and shaman seemed barely affected. The cave bears, however, growled nervously. Grimfang Goblin Warrior, level 10, affected by Primal Fear Aura. 30% attack, 30% defense. Grimfang Warlord, level 30, affected by Primal Fear Aura. 5% attack, 5% defense. Resisted. Grimfang Cave Bear, level 15, affected by Primal Fear Aura. 20% attack, 20% defense. Pitiful, the warlord snarled, his voice a deep rasp. This core thinks fear will save it? Destroy the walls. Find the core. The shaman began chanting, its guttural words twisting the air. Grimfang Shaman, level 25, is casting Mana Overload, area. Countered by Pebble's dungeon defenses. Effect reduced. Rian felt Pebble's subtle resistance. Their dungeon was pushing back. Pebble, Rian commanded, activate Corrosion Aura on the warlord. Focus on his armor! Dungeon Core Pebble has manifested, Corrosion Aura Basic, on Grimfang Warlord, level 30. Grimfang Warlord, level 30, armor integrity reducing by 1% per second. Dungeon Core Pebble Essence 050. The warlord roared, My armor! What is this? A faint sizzle could be heard as his black iron armor began to subtly degrade. This would be a long, drawn-out battle. The entrance chamber transformed into a meat grinder. Rian, acting as Pebble's eyes and brain, commanded every aspect of the defense. Pebble, he thought. Spawn a goblin brute in the corridor directly behind the shaman. Ambush him! Dungeon Core Pebble has spawned Goblin Brute, level 5. Goblin Brute, level 5, attacks Grimfang Shaman, level 25. The Goblin Brute, appearing from thin air, lunged at the unsuspecting shaman. The shaman shrieked, batting it away with a blast of dark energy. The brute was quickly defeated, but it bought crucial seconds. Now, Pebble, Rian continued, drop stone walls at every entrance to the main chamber, trapping the goblin warriors and cave bears. Leave only the shaman and warlord exposed. Dungeon Core Pebble has manifested, stone wall, basic, X4. Grimfang Goblin Warrior X10 are now trapped. Grimfang Cave Bear X5 are now trapped. The warlord and shaman were now isolated in the main chamber, their forces cut off and panicking in their walled-off sections. The corrosion aura was steadily eating away at the warlord's armor. Pebble, flood the trap sections with acid pits. Slowly wear them down, Rian ordered. Dungeon Core Pebble has manifested, acid pit basic, X15. Grimfang Goblin Warrior X10 are affected by acid pit, taking 2 damage per minute. Grimfang Cave Bear X5 are affected by acid pit, taking 5 damage per minute. Screams of pain and fear erupted from behind the stone walls. Rian felt Pebble's grim satisfaction. This was how they fought. Not with brute force, but with insidious, inescapable attrition. The shaman, realizing their predicament, began chanting a more powerful spell. Shadow Rend. Grimfang Shaman, level 25, is casting Shadow Rend area. Damage, high. Warning, Dungeon Core Pebble integrity at risk. Rian felt a searing pain as the spell hit. The dungeon walls shuddered. Pebble cried out mentally. Dungeon Core Pebble, health 5100, 2100. Symbiotic link integrity, dangerously low. Pebble! Rian yelled mentally. Transfer my life force! Heal yourself. Adventurer Rian is transferring life force to Dungeon Core Pebble. Rian health 60-60, 0-60. Dungeon Core Pebble health 20-100, 80-100. Warning, Rian's health critical. Near death. Rian collapsed unconscious once more. But he knew Pebble was safe for now. He had given his all. When he awoke, his health was at a fragile 160. The battle raged, but the mental landscape had changed. Warlord. Weak shaman, angry. Rian focused his dungeon sense. The corrosion aura had done its work. The warlord's armor was almost completely gone, and he was taking damage from Pebble's passive corrosion aura directly. His health was dangerously low. The shaman was still strong, but he was surrounded by the wails of his dying warriors. Pebble, Rian thought, open a path for the remaining goblin brutes from the spawning pool. Have them target the shaman! Affirmative. 2 goblin brutes, level 5, charged into the main chamber, their eyes glowing red, ignoring the warlord and focusing on the shaman. The shaman, distracted by the brutes, took a powerful blow from the warlord's now exposed blade. Grimfang shaman, level 25. Health 0-100. Defeated. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained 250 dungeon XP. Rian has gained 250 adventurer XP. The shaman fell. The warlord roared in frustration and despair. His powerful armor was gone, his magic support defeated, and his remaining forces were trapped and dying in acid pits. The primal fear aura intensified, making him stumble. Pebble! Rian commanded, his voice filled with exhaustion and triumph. Finish him! All monsters. All traps. Every last drop of essence. Overwhelm him! The dungeon came alive. The goblin brutes charged. Slowstone hit the warlord. Acid pits bubbled up around his feet. The dungeon itself pulsed with a malevolent glee, consuming the last vestiges of the Grimfang assault. The Grimfang warlord, Shadow Goblin, level 30, fell, consumed by Pebble's traps and monsters, a defiant roar turning into a gurgling gasp as he melted into an acid pit. The last remnants of Grimfang's assault force, weakened by fear and attrition, soon followed. Grimfang warlord, level 30, defeated. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained 500 dungeon XP. Rian has gained 500 adventurer XP. Dungeon Core Pebble has leveled up. Pebble is now level 6. New Dungeon Core skill. Essence Absorption Basic. Active. Allows Pebble to quickly absorb essence from defeated foes. Mana cost, 0 essence. Rian has leveled up. Rian is now level 6. New Adventurer skill. Monster Control. Basic. Active. Allows Rian to directly command a limited number of Pebble's monsters. Mana cost 20. Pebble pulsed with a triumphant, joyful energy. The mental connection to Rian vibrated with an almost overwhelming sense of power. They had won. They had not only survived Grimfang's full assault, but had utterly annihilated it. Pebble, Rian thought, a grin spreading across his face despite his weakness. We did it! We won! Weak, strong, big core, no more! Pebble projected a sense of finality. No more? Rian asked, his dungeon sense reaching out. The overwhelming red mist of Grimfang's influence was gone. Vanished. Rival core. Grimfang. Level 50. Core. Integrity. Critical. Core defense is offline. Dungeon Core Pebble is now initiating core assimilation basic on Grimfang. Warning. Assimilation process will take 24 hours. Core vulnerable during this period. Assimilation. Rian exclaimed, a surge of power coursing through him. Pebble, you're going to eat Grimfang. You're going to become a level 50 dungeon core. Yes, more strong together. This was incredible. Pebble would become massive, powerful beyond their wildest dreams. But the warning concerned Rian. Vulnerable during this period. Pebble, Rian thought. We need to fortify. Build as many walls, traps, and spawn as many monsters as you can. We need to create an impenetrable fortress around your core. Grimfang might have backup, or other cores might try to raid you while you're vulnerable. Fortify. Yes. Protect us. Rian used his monster control, basic, to command the 2 remaining goblin brutes to guard Pebble's core chamber. He directed Pebble to use its new essence absorption, basic, to drain every last bit of essence from the defeated Grimfang forces, quickly regenerating its own essence pool. Then he ordered Pebble to spend all that essence on creating layers upon layers of stone walls, acid pits, and mana leech traps around the core chamber. The dungeon transformed into a labyrinth of death, designed to bleed any intruder dry. While Pebble was busy fortifying, Rian, using his essence drain to keep his health stable, began to systematically loot the fallen Grimfang forces. The warlord's black iron armor, though corroded, was still of high quality. The shaman had powerful magical artifacts. The goblin warriors had a surprising amount of salvageable gear. He was finally getting proper loot. New item acquired, warlord's corroded plate, legendary, damaged. New item acquired, shaman's shadow staff, epic. New item acquired, greater mana potion, X3. New item acquired, masterwork healing potion, X2. This was it. They had survived. They had won. And now they would assimilate. The dungeon, once a pathetic pebble, was about to become a mountain. And Rian, the trapped rogue, was about to become its architect. 24 tense hours passed. Rian, using his shadow stealth, patrolled the newly fortified dungeon, listening, watching. His dungeon sense was now so expansive, he could feel every tremor, every shift in air pressure, every skitter of a rat within their expanded domain. No new threats appeared. Grimfang's defeat had been absolute. Then, a final, monumental surge of power resonated through the symbiotic link. Dungeon Core Pebble has successfully assimilated rival core Grimfang. Dungeon Core Pebble has leveled up X44. Pebble is now level 50. Dungeon Core Pebble has gained new skills. Deep Earth Manipulation, Advanced. Shadow Elemental Summon, Advanced. Mana Geyser, Epic. Rian has gained 1000 Adventurer XP from Core Assimilation. Rian has leveled up X4. Rian is now level 10. New Adventurer skills, Grand Dungeon Sense, Epic. Core Connection, Passive. Shadow Shroud, Advanced. Rian roared with exultation. Level 50! And he was level 10. The sheer power flowing through the symbiotic link was intoxicating. He could feel vast, new sections of the earth, countless caverns and underground rivers, now falling under Pebble's control. The entire mountain range above them vibrated with their power. His new Grand Dungeon Sense showed him the entire mountain, a vast, intricate network of tunnels, caverns, and dormant mana veins. He could feel every monster, every creature within its domain. His core connection, passive, meant the link was now unbreakable, effortless. And Shadow Shroud, advanced, made him virtually invisible, even in bright light. Pebble, Rian thought, his voice echoing with newfound authority and joy. We are a mountain now. What do we do? Grow. More. Strongest. Pebble projected an image of an ever-expanding, intricate, beautiful, and terrifying dungeon. And leave? Rian paused. Leave? He looked at the vast mental map of their dungeon. He was no longer trapped. With Pebble's immense power, he could create a path to the surface, a fortified exit. He could finally be free, but what then? Back to being a lone rogue, risking his life for meager loot? Here, with Pebble, he was something more. He was an architect of shadows, a master of traps, a strategist of subterranean warfare. He was the mind of a living dungeon. He looked at the warlord's corroded plate, legendary, damaged, and the shaman's shadow staff, epic, in his inventory. He had loot beyond his wildest dreams. He was no longer the desperate, dying adventurer. He was the heart of a mountain. No, Pebble, Rian thought, a slow smile spreading across his face. We don't leave. We build, we expand. We become the greatest dungeon this world has ever seen. And then? Pebble queried, a childlike eagerness in its mental voice. And then, Rian continued, we let them come. We let the adventurers come, the heroes, the warlords. Let them try to conquer the mountain. Let them try to face us. He was no longer just Rian, the rogue. He was the dungeon master. He was the symbiotic core. He was the architect of the mountain and the cunning, ruthless mind that would guide Pebble to unimaginable power. His escape from the dungeon had never been about reaching the surface. It was about becoming the dungeon itself, and for the first time in a very long time, Rian felt truly, utterly free.